Okay, today we're going to be hooking up RCE24VBCHK kit from Connecties. These kits are designed for 24-volt trolling motors with onboard charging systems. It's a patented system that you can't find anywhere else. It's unique. Today I'm going to be hooking that up to the battery, or to the trolling motor, the batteries, and actually for the onboard charger as well. So to start off with, we want to take the onboard charging leads, clip the little alligator clips they have off of those, the butt splices like that, so that you've got that clean. And then I have a trolling motor that comes with these two leads. Okay, one is positive. The positive one will be red, and the negative one will be there. We actually have a 60 amp fuse block that you can actually hook this up to. Like so. We put the positive on this side, the negative goes on the other side. Oops. Oh, sorry.
Keep going.
Or you can use a terminal block like so to connect the cable like so. And or encased. Everything you need to connect this system is in this kit. We actually supply a small red heat shrink connection like this, which goes on your positive lead. So what you would do is clip off this butt splice, strip the wire, back about that far, take the lug, heat shrink lug, put it on there, and take our handy dandy crimpers. Trying to crimp that down good and tight. Never had this happen before. You can see it's solidly crimped on there. And I take our heat gun. This one has a temperature, I like it about 780 actually. And we're going to shrink this heat splice down. That keeps all of your connections as corrosion free as possible. There is adhesive in these connections, so it actually makes them nice and tight. Then you hook this positive onto this side of the amp. I'm going to take the negative, I'm going to hook it right directly to the kit, because that's the best negative connection that you can have for ground. So we're going to take this kit, we're going to take our negative from the trolling motor, we're going to put that eye thing off. These things corrode all the time because of the difference between this metal and the metal that you're using on these connections that causes the corrosion. So we're actually going to strip that off about that far, and on our kit there's a heat shrinkable butt splice right there. You insert that into the butt splice about that deep, so it gets into that connection inside there. You can kind of see I'm wiggling that in. All the way nice and tight like that. Then we want to take our handy dandy crimpers, put it in the big crimp space, crimp that down tight. You can see that crimp's good. I'm going to take my heat gun again. I'm going to leave the heat gun off and do all those heat shrink connections at once. So, and then we have the trolling motor, the onboard lead connections coming from your onboard charger. So we have the leads coming from the onboard charger. You can hook either one of them up to either side. It really doesn't make any difference. It's going to charge each battery individually. That's how they work. So we're going to strip that off. That's a negative. Strip the positive one off. That's the positive. I'm going to take our heat shrink and stick it into the butt splice nice and tight like that. Hold it in there so it's tight. Take our crimper, put it in the big slot again. Crimp that down nice and tight. That crimp's good. We're going to take the negative side. We're going to take it on the black one is for negative always, and red is always for positive. We're going to do the same thing. That down nice and tight. Nice and tight connection like that. So one of our onboard chargers is connected, and we're going to repeat that on the other side again by taking off the connections that come with it. We're going to strip those again to about that length. It can be a little longer, that's okay too. On each one, and then we're going to take the other side, positive and negative on the kit. This is where it comes together on the kit here. You can see where those leads come out. Stick that in there. Crimp that down nice and tight. Now we're going to take the black one for the negative. Take the black. Always use red to red and black to black. Stick that in like so. And crimp that down. And then since we use heat shrink connections here, we want to take those and heat shrink all of them down at once basically. So I'm going to take my gun, let it heat up for a second, and start shrinking these down. You can see how those butt splices will actually shrink down to wrap around that wire, and it keeps the actual connection in there as corrosion resistant as it possibly can be, so you never have to deal with that. So usually with our products, it's a once and done connection. You never have to go in and get rid of any corrosion or figure out why your machine is not working or anything due to some kind of corrosion effect for electricity. You can see that heat shrink actually wraps right around that wire, nice and tight like that. So you don't get your fingers in there, it's pretty hot. This is a Wagner heat gun for stripping paint, basically. It's a heat gun if you want. They're pretty inexpensive. You can buy them at any hardware store. Or, like I said before, you can use your wife's 1500 watt hair dryer. They'll work already too. Just have to make sure you get it nice and close to the heat shrink. Keep your hands out of the way because it does get relatively hot. Burn your fingers pretty easy. Now you can see that our connection is all good. Now this connection on your 24 volt trolling motor will be good probably for the life of that machine, because these heat shrink butt splices actually keep all the corrosion out of these connections, so you don't have any connection on the battery or anything, because these are all marine grade connections that we use here. Then you can hook up either one of these to any battery. It doesn't really matter because the series connection is actually in this kit right here. You snap it together like so, and voila, your 24 volt trolling machine is complete.